Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty practical, using AI tools for your own stuff, your own projects.
Yeah, and specifically, what happens when you actually, run up against the limits, those free tiers everyone talks about?
Exactly.
Oh.
So if you're someone who's curious about maybe bringing AI into your workflow, maybe for learning or just kind of tinkering around.
Then this deep dive should be really interesting. We're looking at one user's notes, their actual experience hitting the Gemini API rate limits.
Right. It's all based on personal notes, someone using Aider, that's a tool that works with AI models, and they were using it with Google's Gemini model.
And our mission, so to speak, is to figure out the real boundaries of these free AI models. What are the limitations? What actually happens when you hit that wall?
Okay, so let's set the scene. This person was using Aider with Gemini for pretty standard Python project tasks.
Yeah, like you said, tinkering, refactoring code,
Yeah.
just the usual day-to-day coding activity, nothing super heavy duty, it sounds like.
But then they hit an error, a little rate limit error.
Yeah, and it came with that 429 status code. If you've done any web stuff or API work, 429 usually means one thing.
Too many requests, right?
Exactly. Resource exhausted. The system basically put the brakes on, said, nope, that's enough for now.
And the message itself was, well, pretty detailed, actually. It flat out said, you exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details.
Super direct. No ambiguity there. And it even gave a link straight to the Gemini API rate limits documentation.
Which is helpful, I guess. But what's really interesting is how specific it got in the error message itself.
Right. It pointed to the specific quota metric being violated. Generativelanguage.googlepapus.com generate content free tier requests.
So it's tied directly to generating content on the free tier. Makes you wonder if other API calls might have different limits, perhaps.
That's a good point. And it gets even more granular with the quotaed. Generate requests per day per project per model free tier.
Okay, breaking that down. Per day, per project, per model, and specifically for the free tier. Lots of qualifiers there.
And it names the model Gemini 2.0 Pro X and mentions the location is global.
Right, an experimental model.
Yeah.
And then the key bit of info, the actual limit.
Yeah, quota value, 25. Just 25.
Wow, only 25 requests per day on that model's free tier. That's surprisingly low, actually.
It really is. It shows how fast you could potentially burn through your allowance, even if you're just experimenting or learning.
It makes you think twice about every request you send, almost. The message also mentioned a retry delay of 40s.
40 seconds. So, take a quick break. But if you've hit your daily limit, waiting 40 seconds isn't really going to solve the core problem, is it?
Not for that day, no. What's interesting, though, is the user's own take on this. Despite hitting the limit that one time,
Yeah.
they mentioned that, generally speaking, the free tier is actually okay for their usual daily workflow.
Huh. So even 25 requests is often enough.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They said they usually aim for about one small commit per project each day. It's more about learning consistently and building that habit.
Okay, so it wasn't like they were trying to build a massive application in one go, just
Yeah.
steady, small steps.
Exactly. But it still highlights the core point. Even for what seems like pretty light personal use, just learning, building a routine, you can hit these concrete limits on the free tiers.
Yeah, it's not just for heavy commercial users or something. Consistent, even low-volume personal use can bump right up against those boundaries.
So the main takeaway here seems pretty clear. These free AI API tiers are great for getting your feet wet, for starting out.
But they absolutely have real-world constraints. Even for individuals doing fairly modest things, it's not unlimited magic.
Definitely not. So here's something for you, the listener, to maybe mull over. As you think about incorporating AI tools, whether it's for your own learning, personal projects, maybe even professional development.
How might limitations like this affect your plans? Is that free tier really free if it potentially interrupts your flow or forces you to constantly track these sometimes quite specific quotas?
Yeah, it adds another layer to consider when you're exploring what AI can really do for you and how you might integrate it effectively. Something to think about.